Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Cinderella. She lived with her cruel stepmother and two jealous stepsisters who treated her like a servant. While her stepsisters wore fine dresses and jewels, Cinderella was dressed in rags and worked tirelessly, cooking, cleaning, and doing all the chores. Despite her hardships, Cinderella remained gentle and hopeful. She often dreamed of a better life. One day, an announcement was made. The king was hosting a grand ball to find a bride for the prince. Every eligible young woman in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella's stepsisters were thrilled and spent days preparing, while Cinderella wished she could go too. However, her stepmother sneered.
A filthy girl like you? Absolutely not!
When the night of the ball arrived, the stepsisters left Cinderella behind, crying in the kitchen. Suddenly, a shimmering light filled the room, and a fairy godmother appeared. And she said,
"Don't cry, dear child, you shall go to the ball."
With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed a pumpkin into a magnificent carriage, mice into fine horses, and Cinderella's rags into a breathtaking gown with glass slippers. She warned,
But remember, this magic will only last until midnight.
Cinderella arrived at the ball and was the most beautiful woman there. The prince was captivated by her grace and danced with her all evening. Cinderella was so happy that she forgot the time, until the clock struck midnight. As the magic began to fade, Cinderella fled, leaving behind one glass slipper on the palace steps. The prince, determined to find her, declared he would marry the girl whose foot fit the slipper. The next day, royal messengers visited every house in the kingdom. When they arrived at Cinderella's home, her stepsisters tried to force their feet into the slipper, but it didn't fit. Finally, Cinderella asked to try. Her stepmother protested, but the messenger insisted. The slipper fit perfectly. The prince soon arrived, and he recognized Cinderella at once. Overjoyed, he took her to the palace, and they were married in a grand celebration. Cinderella forgave her stepmother and stepsisters for their cruelty and invited them to live in peace at the palace, and they all lived happily ever after.